What's good, hoop heads? Your courtside analyst Tips and Streams is back in the game. On the slate today, breakdowns for the latest NBA matchups set to light up the hardwood. Before we tip off, make sure you slam that subscribe button on our YouTube channel to stay in the loop with all our predictions and top picks. So, let's get started. The first today's prediction is for matchup between Golden State Warriors and Los Angeles Clippers. The Golden State Warriors, sporting a 9-10 season tally, are making waves on the road with a solid 5-4 record, overshadowing their 4-6 performance on home turf. The spotlight is on Steph Curry, who's been a game changer, racking up points, rebounds, and assists consistently. Their recent clash with the Clippers, where they toppled their rivals 120-114 on November 30th, showcases their knack for dominating the opposition, propelled by Curry's electrifying gameplay. Flip the script to the Los Angeles Clippers, who are sitting at 8-10. They seem to have found their rhythm at home, boasting a 5-3 record, but their 3-7 away stats tell a different story. Key players like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard have been instrumental, yet the team grapples with inconsistency, especially in away games. Their previous face-off with the Warriors laid bare the gaps, with Leonard's 23 points and Zubac's 13 rebounds falling short, underscoring the need for more synchronized team play. Diving into their head-to-head stats, the Warriors have outpaced the Clippers in field goal and free throw percentages, claiming the upper hand in total points scored. Their prowess extends to the three-point line, leaving the Clippers lagging in attempts and baskets. In the rebounding department, a pivotal aspect of the game, the Warriors again lead, especially in snagging offensive rebounds. These stats are a testament to the Warriors' formidable offense and defense, key to tilting the game's scale in their favor. Injuries play a crucial role in this matchup. The Warriors will miss the strategic play of Chris Paul, sidelined by a leg injury, potentially impacting their on-court strategy and experience. The Clippers, facing a longer injury roster, including Powell, Plumlee, Zubac, Mann, Boston Jr., Coffey, and Leonard, might find themselves at a disadvantage. Considering the Warriors' latest triumph over the Clippers, their statistical edge, and the Clippers' injury woes, the scales tip in favor of the Golden State Warriors. Despite the absence of Chris Paul, their resilience and adaptability shine through. The Warriors' edge in scoring, precision, and rebounding, coupled with the Clippers' injury hit squad, positions them as favorites in this showdown. My prediction: the Warriors will not only triumph, but also cover the plus 6-point spread. The next prediction is for the match between Minnesota Timberwolves and Charlotte Hornets. The Minnesota Timberwolves are tearing up the court this season. With a stellar 14-4 record, leading the pack in the Western Conference, they're a fortress in defense, topping the charts with just 105.3 points allowed per game. But their offense needs some juice, sitting at 19th with 112.3 points per game. On the boards, they're snagging 45, 2 rebounds, and dishing out 25.3 assists per game, ranking them 8th and 22nd in the league, respectively. The Charlotte Hornets, meanwhile, are battling through a tough season, yet they're showing grit, especially with stars like LaMelo Ball sidelined. They're hustling for points across the roster, keeping them in the game even when it's down to the wire. Injuries are the wild card in this showdown. The Timberwolves might miss the fire from Jordan McLaughlin, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, and Jalen Clark. Edwards is a big miss given his scoring and playmaking chops. The Hornets, missing Frank Ntilikina, Cody Martin, Nick Richards, LaMelo Ball, and maybe Brandon Miller, have to dig deep into their bench strength and versatility. Home court advantage is huge in the league, and this clash is no exception. With the Hornets hosting, they might just get that extra push. Plus, how each team has played in this city before could tilt the scales. For the Timberwolves, victory hinges on leveraging their defensive might and pumping up their offense, especially if Edwards can't play. The Hornets, on the flip side, need to capitalize on the Timberwolves' offensive hiccups while maximizing their scoring even without their key players. All things considered, team stats, injury updates, and home court edge, This matchup looks neck and neck, but my money's on the Charlotte Hornets to beat the spread, thanks to their adaptability, bench depth, and home turf advantage. My bets are on the Charlotte Hornets +6. The next prediction is for the match between Orlando Magic and Brooklyn Nets. In the hoops world, the Orlando Magic are tearing up the court at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn on a fiery 9-game hot streak, showcasing some serious balling skills both offensively and defensively. They're dropping an impressive 114.1 points per game on 47.7% field goal accuracy, while keeping their opponents to just 108.1 points on 46. 8% shooting. Stars like Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero are in prime form, majorly fueling the Magic's surge. Meanwhile, the Brooklyn Nets, with an even split in their last 8 games, are hungry for a victory. They're netting a solid 116 points on average, with a 47.2% shooting rate and conceding 104.7 points at a 45.4% shooting rate to the opposition. Key players Cam Thomas and Mikal Bridges are spearheading the Nets, proving they can be a tough squad to beat, especially on their home turf. Stat-wise, both teams are neck and neck in shooting from the field. Orlando's at 47.90%, while Brooklyn's just a step behind at 47.04%. But Brooklyn's got the upper hand in three-point territory, sinking 38.93% against Orlando's 35.61%. On defense, Orlando edges out, allowing a lower opponent shooting percentage at 46.96% compared to Brooklyn's 45.38%. Digging into their recent faceoffs, especially at the Barclays Center, the Nets show a solid dominance at home. In their last 5 games on this court, Brooklyn's claimed victory 4 times. Orlando, coming off a back-to-back game, might be grappling with fatigue, a factor that's known to throw off a team's rhythm. On the flip side, Brooklyn's stats at home against Southeast Division rivals are impressive, with 12 wins in their last 13 such encounters. Weighing all this, my bet is on the Brooklyn Nets. They've got the home court advantage and a winning streak in their recent matchups at the Barclays Center. While Orlando's current run and the back-to-back situation make them a formidable opponent, Brooklyn's stats and home game strength tip the scales in their favor. To wrap it up, my money's on the Brooklyn Nets to clinch this one and beat the spread. They've got the stats, the head-to-head record, and the home court on their side. I'm backing the Brooklyn Nets, giving up 2 points. The next prediction is for the match between Cleveland Cavaliers and Detroit Pistons. Tonight's clash on the hardwood at Little Caesars Arena is a real hoop spectacle, featuring the Cleveland Cavaliers going head-to-head with the Detroit Pistons. The Cavaliers, sporting a decent 10-9 record, are stepping onto the court as the favorites against the Pistons, who've been struggling with a .217 tally. Breaking down the numbers, the Cavaliers pack a more potent offense, racking up an average score of 111.72, eclipsing the Pistons' 109.44. Cleveland's sharpshooters are hitting their mark with a field goal percentage of 47.86%, outshining Detroit's 45.88%, and they're also edging out in the three-point showdown 35.07% to 34.78%. On defense, though, Detroit's snagging a slight upper hand in rebounds, pulling down 45.44 on average, just ahead of Cleveland's 44.83. When it comes to recent face-offs, the Cavaliers have been running the show, boasting a 7-3 record over the Pistons in their last 10 matchups. In their latest encounter on November 17, 2023, Cleveland secured a solid 108-100 victory. These games have highlighted Cleveland's edge in shooting efficiency, with a field goal percentage of 48.56% compared to Detroit's 42.52%, and in putting points on the board, averaging 107.30 to Detroit's 97.40. Injuries could play a big part in tonight's game. The Pistons are potentially down several key players, including Joe Harris, Oscar Thompson, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Monty Morris. The Cavaliers aren't without their own injury concerns, missing Ty Jerome, Dean Wade, Caris LeVert, and Ricky Rubio. Given Cleveland's stronger stats, their recent upper hand in direct confrontations, and Detroit's injury struggles, the scales are tipping in favor of the Cavaliers. They're showing up with a killer combo of offensive firepower and defensive grit, key to securing wins in this tough league. And with their away game performance outdoing Detroit's home efforts, it looks like the Cavaliers might extend their winning streak against the Pistons. Wrapping it up, Deep analytics and recent form suggest the Cleveland Cavaliers are set to take the win in this matchup. Their robust offense and overall efficiency are major factors, but this showdown might just be tighter than the odds makers predict. I'm going out on a limb and betting on the Pistons, giving them a 9-point advantage. The next prediction is for the match between Indiana Pacers and Miami Heat. In hoops lingo, the Pacers are ballin' with a 9-8 record, but the Heat are turning up the heat slightly more at 11-8. The Pacers are straight fire on offense, dropping buckets like it's nothing with a swish-tastic average of 127.63 points per game. Their shooting game is tight, hitting 50.36% from the field. They're also nailing it from downtown, sinking 38.63% of their threes. But their D game is kind of shaky, letting the rivals rack up the scoreboard. Switching courts, the Heat are bringing a more all-around game. Their D is their trademark, holding teams to 110.61 points per game. They've got a solid shooting game, too, with a field goal rate of 46.44% and a decent 38.17% from beyond the arc. Plus, their free throw game is clutch at 84.32%, a real game changer in nail-biters. Looking at their face-offs, the Heat have the upper hand with a 6-4 record in their last 10 showdowns against the Pacers. The Heat average 107.90 points in these games, edging out the Pacers 103.50. This gives the Heat a mental edge, thanks to their tougher D stats. The betting scene has got the Heat favored at minus 2.5, signaling that the bettors are vibing with Miami's chances to outscore the spread, despite the Pacers' offensive heat. Injury updates and recent plays are major players, too. Both squads are hustling through injuries, which shakes up their game flow. This could be a big deal, especially in a tight match. All in, my bets on the Miami Heat. Their balanced attack and solid D put them in a sweet spot to handle the Pacers' scoring frenzy. The Heat's got a winning record against the Pacers and seem likely to beat the spread. The Pacers are scoring machines, no doubt, but the Heat's efficiency in home court might just be the game changer. To wrap it up, I'm backing the Miami Heat to take it home and beat the spread. Their defensive game and effective scoring, combined with their track record and current form, make them the hot pick in this matchup. The next prediction is for the match between New Orleans Pelicans and Chicago Bulls. The New Orleans Pelicans are bringing their A game with a solid 11-9 record, gearing up to clash with the Chicago Bulls, who are lagging behind at 6-14, right in the Bulls' den at the United Center. The Pelicans are balling with an impressive average score of 113.42, outshining the Bulls 106.85. Their shooting game is on point, netting a field goal average of 47.58% and raining threes at 35.54%, edging out the Bulls 44.47% from the field and 34.94% beyond the arc. In the last 10 faceoffs, the Pelicans have been owning the court with a dominant 7-3 record against the Bulls. They've been dropping buckets with an average score of 119.70, just a notch above the Bulls' 116.0. Plus, in their recent trio of showdowns at the United Center, the Pelicans have been unstoppable, sweeping a 3-0 record and outscoring the Bulls by an average of 121.67 to 110. The Pelicans' star trio, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and C.J. McCollum, are all fit and ready to roll. However, they'll be missing Larry Nance Jr., Matt Ryan, and Jose Alvarado, who are benched with injuries. The Bulls are also grappling with their own roster woes, missing key players like Lonzo Ball and Zach LaVine, and possibly without DeMar DeRozan. The odds are leaning towards the Pelicans, favored to win by -3. 5 points with a total over-under set at 220.5. Looking at the Pelicans' solid scoring, field goal, and three-point stats, combined with their strong track record against the Bulls and the Bulls' injury setbacks, it's a safe bet to say the New Orleans Pelicans will swoop in for the win and beat the spread. They've got the offensive firepower and the form, especially at the United Center, to take down the Chicago Bulls. I'm placing my bets on the Pelicans to snag the victory and breeze past that 3.5-point spread. The next prediction is for the match between Atlanta Hawks and Milwaukee Bucks. The Atlanta Hawks, rolling at a break-even 9-9, have been lighting it up with a well-rounded offensive game this season. They're dropping an impressive 118.4 points each night, sinking shots at a 48.3% clip from the field, and netting 35.2% from downtown. Trae Young and DeJounte Murray are leading the charge, racking up hefty scores and dishing out assists left and right. On the flip side, The Milwaukee Bucks are tearing it up on offense, racking up a solid 120.5 points per game. Their shooting game is slightly sharper, with a 49.0% success rate from the field and a 37.1% accuracy from the three-point arc. This offensive firepower nudges them just past the Hawks in scoring finesse. In their recent face-offs, the Hawks and Bucks have been neck and neck. Both squads have snagged 3 wins in their last 5 matchups against each other, hinting at a nail-biter ahead. There's no clear frontrunner in their recent showdowns. However, the Hawks are limping into this clash with a few key players on the bench. Johnson, Guay, and Bufkin are sitting this one out, which might shake up their game a bit. The Bucks, too, are feeling the pinch without Pat Connaughton and Jay Crowder. These gaps could shake up their game strategies and rotations. The odds are leaning towards the Bucks, pegged as the favorites with a 6. 5-point spread and an over-under set at a whopping 251 points. It's shaping up to be a high-scoring thriller, with the Bucks tipped to have the upper hand. Tactically, both teams are pretty evenly matched on offense, but the Bucks' slightly sharper shooting, both from the field and beyond the arc, might just tip the scales in those clutch moments. The Hawks, despite their offensive prowess, could find themselves outpaced by the Bucks' scoring efficiency. The historical head-to-head record paints a picture of a closely fought contest. But with the Bucks playing on their home turf and boasting a marginally better offensive game, they might just clinch it. Injuries don't seem to tip the scales much, but the Bucks might just weather their player losses more smoothly. My call? I'm betting on the Milwaukee Bucks to take this one home. Their scoring edge and home court advantage should seal the deal. Yet, the 7-point spread for the Bucks feels a bit of a stretch. For this game, I'm expecting the total points to soar past 251. The next prediction is for the match between Oklahoma City Thunder and Dallas Mavericks. The Thunder are tearing up the court, dunking wins in 9 out of their last 12 games, putting them on a hot streak against the Mavericks. The Mavs, in contrast, are dribbling on shaky ground, having dropped 5 out of their last 8. Checking out the stat sheet, the Thunder are lighting it up with an average score of 109.4 points, shooting a slick 49.5%. Their defense isn't sleeping either, holding opponents to 110.9 points on 43.4% shooting. They're nailing threes at a cool 39.8% and are sharpshooters at the charity stripe with 85.4%. The Mavericks are putting up a close 119.5 points, but their shooting's a bit off the mark at 47.1%. Their defense is giving up more, letting in 118.1 points on 49.3% shooting. They're also lagging in the three-point game at 37.4%, with free throws at 74.8%. Tonight's clash has injuries playing a big part. The Mavs are missing their star players Luka Doncic and Tim Hardaway Jr. due to personal and back issues. Doncic's stats are no joke, with 31.1 points, 8.0 rebounds, and 7.9 assists per game. The Thunder are in better shape, only sweating over Jalen Williams with a hip issue. Looking at their past faceoffs, the Mavericks have a slim lead, 6-4 in their last 10 games against the Thunder. But OKC has the edge in the betting line, going 7-3 against the spread, while the Mavs are 3-7. Considering their current mojo, team stats, and injury list, the bet is on the Oklahoma City Thunder to clinch this one. They're scoring big, sharp from downtown and rocking a solid lineup. Plus, they're rested and have a strong 13-5 record against the spread. Looks like a smart play to back the Thunder, especially with a 3.5-point spread. To wrap it up, the Thunder's scoring prowess, tight defense, and the Mavs' key player gaps tip the scales for Oklahoma City. I'm betting on the Thunder to snatch the win and beat the spread. The next prediction is for the match between Memphis Grizzlies and Phoenix Suns. The Memphis Grizzlies are dribbling through a tough season with a scorecard showing 5 wins and 13 losses. They're currently playing fourth fiddle in the Southwest Division and trailing at the 13th spot in the Western Conference. Up next is a showdown with the Phoenix Suns, where the Grizzlies' split of home, 1-8, and away, 4-5 games doesn't promise much cheer. Despite recently dunking a win against the Utah Jazz, the team's game plan needs a serious shakeup. Stars like Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. have been lighting up the court, yet the team's scoring and shooting averages are lagging behind big time, sitting at 29th in points per game and bottoming out in field goal and three-point accuracy. Contrastingly, the Phoenix Suns are blazing a trail this season with an 11-8 record, topping the Pacific Division and snagging the third spot in the Western Conference. Their offensive play is nothing short of spectacular, ranking 7th in scoring and 3rd in three-point success. The dynamic duo of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker is firing on all cylinders, contributing massively to the Suns' ascension. Their defense isn't slacking either, putting up a formidable guard in field goal defense and rebounding. In their recent head-to-head clashes, the Grizzlies and Suns have been neck and neck, with the Grizzlies netting 3 wins to the Suns 2 in their last 5 games. These matchups have been high-scoring affairs, averaging around 231.6 points. Gazing at the current stats and recent form, the Suns look set to outplay the Grizzlies. Their sharpshooting and balanced defense make them the top pick for this game. The Grizzlies, who are struggling to find their rhythm, especially in three-point and field goal areas, might find it tough to keep up. The Suns are expected to rule the court with their high-octane offense and tight defense. The Grizzlies' weak three-point defense could be an easy target for the Suns' sharpshooters. A scoreboard explosion seems likely, with the total score predicted to go beyond the expected range. Wrapping it up, my bet is on the Phoenix Suns to not just win, but also beat the 8-point spread. Their superior offensive and defensive play, coupled with their past performances against the Grizzlies, positions them as the clear front-runners. The next prediction is for the match between Denver Nuggets and Sacramento Kings. The Nuggets are slamming it this season with a solid 14-6 scorecard, sitting pretty as the West's number 2. They're killing it on both ends of the court, dropping a hefty 1-14. 4 points each game, while their assist game is on fire, ranking second in the league with 29.9 per game. They might be 19th in snagging rebounds, but their defense is tight, holding teams to just 109.8 points. Switching courts, the Kings are holding their own with a 10-7 record, snagging the 5th spot in the West. They're edging out the Nuggets offensively, scoring an average of 116.1 points. They might trail Denver in assists with 26.9 per game, but they're still making plays. Their defense, though, is getting schooled, letting through 116.7 points per game, which could spell trouble in this showdown. Looking back, the Nuggets and Kings have had their share of tug-of wars, but Denver's been getting the better of Sacramento lately. This could mess with the Kings' heads. Injuries to Denver's key players like Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray could mix up the play. Betting stats are favoring the Nuggets. They've been acing it in recent face-offs with the Kings and are holding strong in the West, despite some hiccups against the spread on the road. Sacramento's shaky performance and iffy betting stats in December games are tilting odds towards Denver. So, my bet's on the Nuggets. Their strong game, especially in making plays and locking down defense, plus their recent record over the Kings, puts them ahead. It'll be a tight game, but I see Denver outmaneuvering and outlasting Sacramento. I'm calling it Denver Nuggets to beat the plus 3-point spread. The last prediction for today is for the match between Houston Rockets and Los Angeles Lakers. The Rockets hit the hardwood with an even 8-8, perched at the 9th spot in the Western Conference, while the Lakers are hooping at 11-9, securing the 7th seed in the West. The Rockets are hustling but falling short in the scoring department, only managing 25th in the league with 110.9 points per game. Their board game isn't flying high either, grabbing 21st place with 43.3 rebounds per game. Yet, they're showing some steel in defense, locking down the 3rd spot in holding opponents to 107.3 points per game. The Lakers are dribbling a bit ahead on offense, ranking 18th with 112.8 points and 17th in snagging rebounds with 43.9 per game. Their defense is lagging, sitting at 18th by letting opponents score 114.3 points on average. The recent play is key in this showdown. The Rockets have stumbled, losing 5 out of their last 7, including back-to-back losses to the Mavericks and Nuggets. Sengun and Green are dropping buckets, but the team's struggling, particularly in away games with a 0-7 record outside their home court. The Lakers, aiming for a home court win, have mixed results with 5 wins out of their last 8. Despite road bumps with a 4-7 record, they've been ruling their home court with a 7-2 tally. Injury reports could sway this game. The Lakers might see Hayes, Reddish, Vanderbilt, and Hachimura on the court, but LeBron's calf injury is a question mark, possibly impacting the Lakers' game plan. The bookies opened with the Lakers as 5.5-point favorites, banking on their home dominance and the Rockets' away game woes. Historically, the Rockets have outperformed expectations against the spread with an 11-4-1 record, but their 0 success rate on the road is a red flag. Factoring in these elements, the Los Angeles Lakers seem to have the upper hand. Their dominance at home, coupled with a deep bench to counter injuries, puts them in a favorable spot. The Rockets, despite a solid defense, falter on the road, and their inconsistent offense doesn't seem enough to challenge the Lakers at Crypto.com Arena. Expect the Lakers to dictate the pace, especially if their key players bring their A game. Wrapping up, the prediction is the Los Angeles Lakers snagging a win and beating the spread. The Rockets' struggles on the road and the Lakers' stronghold at home tilt the odds towards Los Angeles. This matchup is a prime opportunity for the Lakers to cement their position in the Western Conference, leveraging the Rockets' current form. I'm placing my bet on the Los Angeles Lakers to triumph and cover the minus 4.5-point spread. All right, hoopheads, that's the buzzer for today's predictions. Big thanks for rolling with us. If you're vibing with our picks, slam that subscribe button and get on board. Catch you on the court tomorrow. Peace.